paused.
Nope.
Click on. It's on.
It's not even showing. Oh, now it is.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Thanks, sir. Well, we'll go ahead and say that again because apparently I was talking to myself. All right. So we are, looks like 3 minutes in and we finally have some sound. So let's go back in time a little bit. I went on a decent vacation, but it was a little challenging because pretty much the day I was slated to leave, everything hit the fan. All my tickets were non-refundable. If it was, I would have canceled. But it was... I tried to make the best of it, and I certainly have a lot of memories, but it was mired in a lot of remote work. But there's no better place to work than a balcony overlooking the ocean. So I went to Maui for about a week, which was cool. It was planned for months. It was kind of a surprise thing by my girl threw, and Maui was pretty cool. So. And getting back was its own set of challenges. The goal being, all right, let's obviously legal's been involved with everything because the second we had to involve the authorities, and at first it was like, you're like, okay, I see some major activity. I see getting in, blocking out, getting in, kicking out, those type of things. To different test environments and sandboxes, and it's like, and to give you guys an idea, it wasn't a kid in his basement. We're talking the types of attacks against us with denial of service, with everything, were like a country attacking you. Huge attacks. And we're no, we have pretty robust security measures, and I'm telling you, like, severe, like, I think when we went on CMC CoinMarketCap, we captured visibility in a way that is a little disgusting. And so, yeah, the attacks were pretty overwhelming from cyber attacks. So we and persistent and at multiple angles and everything, and we've got a lot of different systems, a lot of different stuff, and so our inclination was with where the IP addresses were coming from, especially when we tracked them down, was to alert the authorities, consult with our legal department, alert the authorities. A decision, and the token was already paused because of things, and the goal was to unpause and just like, let's move forward. Well, when we alerted the authorities, it was like, oh, we're not allowed to touch anything, do anything. Now that it's like this, so that we have to give a wide berth. So then it was, okay, let's turtle, protect, and allow them to do their thing. How much of a wide berth do they need? Oh, they need that much. Holy crap. Because of all the different, I can't say everything because of open investigation, but we turtled, and we've been in that because our number one goal has been to, it's not just you guys that are like family and friends and loved ones. The countless people that believe in us are numerous and vast, and the last thing we want to do is jeopardize anything. And then the other thing is, like, legal saying we can't touch any of our systems because it's kind of all evidence. And it's a very, wow, the feeling like a country was attacking you, like you're on the front lines, very much so. So that's kind of where we've been at. Most everyone wants to know, okay, what's timeline? I don't have a specific one. I know that we're kind of pushing as fast as we can. We're definitely not sitting our hands here. The team is working on things behind the scenes to make sure that well, what can we do so that we have like extra layers of protection? What can we do security protocol wise to make sure that we can mitigate ourselves? Can for server farms, can we rotate IP blocks to try to we're there's no stone left unturned on our end, but ultimately legal is advised we can't touch anything of those existing systems, so we have to roll out new things to if we're going to resume operation until investigations concluded and we get an all clear. It's frustrating. Just like you guys wanted to be on pause and trade. Guess what? We also run as a business, and businesses enjoy operational capital by generating revenue with customers and things like that, and activity and trading volume with fees. And we're with our hands tied. It's hard. if y'all think y'all want to go, then you have no idea how much we want to. So we just unfortunately I want to make sure we do everything right. And in a situation where it's all kind of a little gray area, I have to do what legal advises that I do so I don't get in trouble. We notified 3 agencies specifically. Local PD, of course, but who knows what they can do. FBI, multiple times with the FBI. And we even opened up specifically with the federal cybercrime division or whatever. So we weren't, when it came to who we notified, it was everyone appropriate, we thought. And if there's anyone we missed, then we'll submit something in there too. But I think we have enough. Those cogs are very slow. I feel, if hopefully they're more responsive if someone's been kidnapped, because otherwise I'm like, makes me feel like, yeah, we have $120 billion for the Ukraine, but here's small businesses on the front line without relief, and it'll be week to 10 days before we'll even get to you. Okay, great. Tax dollars hard at work. But with that said, if you look at the look on my face, not defeated. I'm actually in better spirits than I was, because it's a little bit of a test to have patience. And you guys know how fast we work, even though we may be, quote, late on everything or whatever, like most developers are, right? We actually do a lot of work in a little amount of time, and we've accomplished so much in a very little amount of time that being patient is very hard, because we're chomp at the bit, right? We're ready to go, but on a lot of fronts we are being patient. On every front where we don't have to be patient, we are. I can tell you, the team has a new they're working at a pace that is blistering and fever pitch on things that I can't even talk about right now. So, but on the existing systems with Anubit, until we're given the all clear, we have to keep our hands off. And unfortunately, Anubit has a lot of systems. A lot of money going out for like so many different server clusters and everything to power it. So yeah. If you guys have specific questions that I can answer, I am happy to do so. I did type a message in Telegram covering everything. I want to reassure that we're still here. We still have ever faith in Anubit as a crypto token. We hope that people don't lose faith in us because of something that was outside of our control. We're dedicated. We're here. We're working every day. I just can't unpause it and can't touch any of the computers or servers or systems or anything. Not that I do it personally, but I, I can't do anything. Hands are nothing short of. My hands are tied. I don't want to. If I touch anything, I don't want to keep them handcuffed. So, I think the biggest question that got over the time was the fact that y'all did not communicate at all almost a week, and most people feel any message could have been attempted. Adam, I think that's great to point out, and I did type the truth. I was able to sit down momentarily at my computer over the last week. No one else wanted to communicate because they didn't want to say misinformation. One of the things that was said is don't tell one thing and then it's another thing or this or that. So a lot of people didn't know what to communicate, and everybody's looking to me as a centerpiece who is the liaison with law enforcement, legal, everything. Like, what can I say? And I'm like, I don't know definitively what, we would to tally, look at the scope of things, what information we're allowed to give out, what is, interfering with investigation, all that. I didn't know, and frankly, because of the nature of crypto, I don't want to overstep, understep, do anything. And so I was like, let me figure it out. And then the other thing is, when I don't even get a chance to go in front of my computer to sit on Telegram or check my hundreds and hundreds of emails, hundreds of messages. When I did sit down, I'm like, oh my, I don't even know where to friggin' start. I'm still trying to catch up. And I went from meeting to meeting with various, like, whether it's lawyers, legal, law enforcement. It's, trust me, the second I could sit down and I'm like, okay, I have clear information, at least enough that I can say something about where we're at, what's going on, why things aren't unpaused. As soon as I had a second, I did. Took way longer. I'll tell you this. It wasn't fun on my end either, and I'm sure it creates anxiety on your guys' end. And man, it sucks. Trust me, I know. I just want to be able to. We love what we do. We just want to be unfettered to just do what we do and get everyone out of the way. And I don't have to consult legal. And the last thing I ever want to do is, hey, major, cyber attacks trying to happen on us, and it's like thousands of computers all coordinated with everything from password attempts to denial of service attacks on various servers, everything like extreme. The last thing I want to do is be on the phone with like cybercrime and FBI and stuff. I don't know how other coins deal with it. First off, other large coins that deal with things like this, they have entire segregated IT security systems. They can afford roll over to our next bank of IP addresses or our next. Comparing what is a relatively small business, right, with a country attacking it. To someone like Binance, who has, first off, Binance can afford to not turtle, and as robust as they are, Binance can afford to take last year over $500 million loss in hacks. They can absorb that and keep rolling. If y'all think that we could take a $500 million loss and keep on trucking, no way. We can't afford to operate like they do. Other small coins, I haven't even had the time to go and research what other small coins have been through major thousands upon thousands of computers attacking all of your various systems with various type of attacks. I haven't even gone through to do the research through that to see who our company is. Who our neighbors are in that sphere. So I don't know. Dude, I'm so glad you asked that. He says, and if this happens again, are we looking at the same pausing and setback? I can tell you what we're doing right now is to ensure, now that we know the capable and scope and the behemoths that we're potentially up against that have ill will against us, we are doing everything to make sure that when the all clear is given, that we don't have any more setbacks like that, that we're ready for attacks at that scale. Because like Google or somebody else defending themselves against that, even they get hacked, right? Even they get hacked, as much that they can absorb that, and they have full IT teams. We can't afford like penetration by, that's catastrophic. Binance and Google's and those guys can take heavy losses and still be like, we're good. We have to turtle. We can't. We have to. So we're doing things on our end to make sure that as soon as all clear is given, we're everything we do right now is to make sure that when all clear is given, we're off to the races. But with that said, yeah, this is a bit of a monkey wrench. It's a speed bump in the speed of things that is a little bit of a hill to climb over. So I don't know what company we have as far as like peers that have been through what we're through. That is something that's on the list. We are making preparation on the back end to move forward as quickly as okay, so timing of the attack is a little suspect. One of the things that we've been ready to deploy was a first in industry way to force KYC on otherwise anonymous wallets, whereas exchanges can force KYC on centralized wallets. Like, you make an account on Binance or whatever. The exchanges can do that. But on MetaMask and Trust Wallet and those like that, no one's ever been able to force KYC on those. We created a way to do that. And after we announced that we created a way to do that, we started getting hit. And I don't want to overstep in what I say, but it could be coincidence. But the timing is like literally next day. So here's the thing. You force KYC on all anonymous wallets and there's no invisibility. They don't have any place to hide. And that, I think, is the biggest threat against hackers and people like that. They don't want, not that it's publicly viewable, but they don't want to have to be identified in order to move coin, because then at least there's some sort of accountability. And I think I have to let the investigation conclude, but we are feeling like it's highly coincidental that after we announced that, we started getting nothing short of a full scale, like feeling like there was a war going on. And so it makes me think that we were on the right track. Like, hey, because it would, if implemented, completely thwarts all of, like, they're burned. They can't play their stupid games anymore. They would be, they'd be dead in the water. So I guess we're a threat. Maybe. I'll let the investigation bear what it does. But many times we have to stay out of the way. And I feel like it's the fact that we were targeted may be is a testament of its own, and feeling like we've been on a track that makes us more resolute. that we're on the right path for what um, crypto needs, because the way things have been going anyway, it's like we've been trying to stay ahead of regulation, but we came into this. If you go back to some of our reverse crypto videos that we did in this channel, was basically crypto needs to get cleaned up a little bit. It's been a bit of the Wild West. I don't like Big Brother any more than you do, but it can't be a place where 80% of all tokens launched are rug pulls. It can't be a place where thieves win and normal people like you and me lose. That's not a good recipe. It has so much potential with the technology. We fucking love the technology. We love the people. Most of the people in the community are great, but as long as it's a playground for criminals and thieves, and that there's not appropriate tools to route them out, then it'll always be a fringe. And as much as it deserves to be mainstream, the technology of cryptocurrency deserves to be just as mainstream in our lives as the internet or email or any of or Amazon for deliveries, where it's not for just a select few, like nerds or anything like me. It's supposed to be it has the potential, at least, to be something that changes the way that societies work to transfer wealth between each other in a fair and balanced way. And it's so unfulfilled without the right tools, and where it's been just this playground for like just evil people with no shared morals who remain in the shadows. So, sorry, Late to Life. Great team, great project. Can you just confirm that Anubit will continue once all this is finished? There's a chance of Coin could die. Anubit's going to continue once we're given an all clear. Anubit's going to continue. Anubit is an amazing cryptocurrency. It is the future. It is something that we have bled for in blood, sweat, and tears and 22-hour days. Listen, we have a couch in one of the conference rooms that is like a second bed when we're working. And when we're working like tirelessly, because it's like the super comfy couch. And I can't tell you how many weeks straight Omar that is like my couch, because he's sleeping there. He was work 22 hours a day, sleep for 2 hours on that couch, and get up and do it all over again. Stinky. But you can't say shit, because that kind of dedication, there's no that's when you love what you do. So yeah, no, we're not like you guys think you guys are dedicated. I love you guys. But come on, man. We've shed tears. We're passionate. Our hands are tied until I get the all clear. I'm gonna cry because I'm thinking about how much work we've done, and the idea, the assertion that we're throwing up our hands. I'm like, man, it's our future. Are you kidding me? Having this on hold is it takes everything we've got to just let things, to relinquish time that is precious for other inept people to finally do what we pay them as taxpayers to do. That's hard. But we also, I can't tell you, Jamie, how much we're working behind the scenes. The developers are on calls right now. I'm listening to it. You might not pick it up on the mic, but it's very loud. They're using, I don't know if it's Discord or Teams or whatever they're using nowadays to do their video chats with the dev team. Omar's the only one working in the office right now. Everybody else is, well, we have Angelina here, Tanya here, Mario isn't here, but Theo's here, I'm here, and then the other developers are, the only one that's public is Adrian, but the other developers are all remote. So I'm really appreciate the community. I even though on I wish I could have talked sooner than I am right now. I can't, like, and I wish I could just say everything I would just want to say, but that's the, I gotta I gotta make sure that everything's vetted and all the information I say is proper and I don't speak out of turn. Um, I get myself back to Maui. Let's talk about Maui. Oh my God, freaking beautiful. For those who haven't been to Maui, it's about the same. There's several islands in Hawaii. Maui is one of the islands. It's not the biggest, which they call the big island named Kona. But it's basically the same size as Oahu, which is like the second largest. And it's the same size, but it has about the 10th of the people of Oahu. So Oahu is probably the most famous island. That's where Waikiki is, and it's it's a very popular island. That's where the naval base is, but it's much more crowded. Maui is a little more laid back. It doesn't have as much nightlife. It's more like I'm gonna do stuff during the day, and at night there's a couple things to do here and there, but it kind of dies down. You sit on your porch with drinking a Mai Tai, overlooking the ocean at night. You're not out clubbing. If you want to go clubbing in Hawaii, you go to Oahu. There's also the most remote, which is like Kauai, which is where they film like parts of Jurassic Park. It's very gorgeous, lots of waterfalls. Kauai is another island. We like Maui. It's kind of a balance, easy to get a rental car, nice resorts. We ended up staying on on a villa off of a golf course, just overlooking the ocean, up in above Kanapali, in West Maui, and it was for 8 days. It was very nice, very nice. I didn't do it baller style. I can't afford to buy any Rolexes or black diamonds instead or anything like that. But we did it on the cheap. But even cheap in Maui is still a little expensive, to tell you the truth. Everything seems to cost now too much nowadays, and Maui was no exception. But we hadn't been in 7 years, and it was overdue, and it was really, there a lot of wind, some rainy days. I ended up getting sick in the middle, which was really fun, having a cold in the middle, but you're introduced to new germs basically, and that's just the deal. And there's no better place to be sick than Maui. Best thing we did, that if you guys ever find yourself there, on a lighter note, is I wanted to do whale watching. We also was like, last time we did this like luau thing where it's something to do. I looked at the price of luau and they're up to like $200 in Maui per person. And the food's like, but you get to see fire dancers and hula skirts and the whole ambiance. And a lot of people do it for the experience. I was like, I already kind of did that last time. I get it. I don't need to do that again. Let's do something we haven't done before. And so we did a dinner like cruise, and it was like $150 a person, still expensive but cheaper than the luau. But I also wanted to do whale watching because it's right off the coast of Maui. Is like a big old channel right there between the islands. That's where all the humpbacks go to basically get birth and stuff. And they're awesome. Humpbacks are not the most beautiful whale at all. They're, in my opinion, they're kind of fucking ugly. But they're different than all the other whales, like blue whales, gray whales, sperm whales, all that kind of stuff, because humpbacks are known to behave more like killer whales or dolphins, in the sense that they breach and they come out of the water, and they're more playful, and they're very visual. They're not just like this blow spout occasionally every. And the other thing is they because they have their young can't really dive, so they all stay close to the surface anyway, so it's perfect. So I wanted to go whale watching, and we also wanted to go on a dinner cruise. Well, it ended up being like both. It was really cool. For the first like half hour, we went whale watching, which I'll tell you what, was plenty. It was plenty, because the whales were like spitting distance. It's not like, oh, you got to go out for like, deep. No, you drive for like, or drive a boat. I don't know, whatever. You drive a boat, and like in 5 minutes, there's like, oh, here's a bunch of whales right here, and they're all just like flippers and tails and breaching and waving at us. Basically, you're like, oh my god, this is awesome. Tons of awesome photos. And then for the rest of the night, and now this was a sunset thing, so it started like 5:30, and it was dark after like by the time it was dark, we're doing things. They served amazing dinner. You're out on the ocean. Not getting seasick. Is a big enough boat. It was cool. And there was music, live music. Girl playing a little ukulele and everything. She was cool and singing all these songs. We were dancing. Free drinks. I'll tell you what. That off the coast of Maui, best part of the whole damn trip. It was the best $150 per person I've ever spent. It was a cool experience. So yeah, in your lifetime, there's a lot of different places to travel. I recommend the Maui was something really special. It was really cool. So all of the trip was a little bit mired in the fact that I'm like trying to enjoy myself with also torn because I'm like, oh my god, I need to be back at the office to see what I can do to help during challenging time. I felt like I abandoned everybody here, and Mia's kind of like, I'm not the leader, we're all equals, but we have different roles. Mia's kind of like, with my role, I felt like, man, I really, in the time of need, I abandoned my team. So I tried to enjoy myself to the best of my ability, but it was weighed down heavy. My heart was really weighed down with feeling like I needed to be back here, and so I tried to balance it too. And it wasn't all vacation. I spent a lot of time communicating. I did bring my laptop, of course, and spent a lot of time communicating with the team. Right when we got there, my girlfriend decided it was a good idea to leave her phone on the flight. So we landed in Maui. She left the plane. We left. Got a hour-long lift to the West Maui. We were in the airport's in Central. We got an hour-long lift to the other side of the island. And by the time we got the rental car, we realized, she's like, I can't find my phone. I was like, well, I know you put that sleeve by your knees, on the seat in front of you in the airplane. You got it out of there, right? So I didn't put it in there. I was like, yeah, you did. And so that was fun. That was a lot of time calling to see where the next flight went with that plane and tracking down to see if anyone found it or this or that. And after a couple of days, one of the cleaning crew fessed up to finding it back in California in Long Beach, and had them FedEx the phone back to her, which was here a couple of days after we got back. But she used my phone pretty much all the time. Like, man, this is never a dull moment. So anyway, got back, and I guess what's important to understand with even after authorities have been notified and everything, is that the attempts and it didn't, like, we've had to turtle because of the oppressive attacks. So it's not just one moment. It's like persistent. So anyway, yes, hands are tied. As soon as we get an all clear, hands will untied. In the meantime, working behind the scenes to ensure that we are prepared for this magnitude of people that wanting to sink our ship, who we're not going to let. So we're going to be continuing to do that. I'll try to keep up with you guys on a weekly basis to let you know if there's new developments. As soon as the cogs are moving kind of slow. If you see frustration in me on the next live stream, it's because my patience runs thin. And if you ask people around the office how much patience I have infinite patience until I don't. And once I don't, the shit hits the fan. And right now, patience. So you'll have a good gauge of how much patience I have left next time you see my face. I'll try to stay on Telegram as much as possible. With that said, while I can't go into details about everything I have, I can tell you that we're working on the back end on all fronts that are possible, and they are numerous. And while this pause is not good for volume of the coin or income to our company, it is allowing us to accelerate other things at a pretty amazing pace. So we'll take the good with the bad, because it's less to worry about on certain fronts. And yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm going to leave you guys with that. If you have any other questions, same in Telegram. I do have to give a big, like Adam said, a big shout out to everybody in Telegram. It was positive despite the worst kind of like, there's nothing worse than having a coin that is paused and mayhem and lack of communication and a perfect storm of shit. And if there was any other way to do that different in hindsight, I probably would, but I don't know. I don't know how else to, this is all new territory as far as like processes and flows, and making sure that I stay wide enough berth to allow things to happen the way that they got to happen, so as to not interfere. They've got to make sure that there's no inside job. You got to understand, for scrutiny, they got to do everything, and so I don't want to compromise myself or anyone else on the team. So, other than that, I thank you guys immensely for the continued faith. We'll do our part to try to keep earning it to the best of our ability. And if you're wondering if I have faith in Anubit, I love Anubit. I have nothing but a faith in the products we built or the direction we're on. And we don't want, I guess, like George W. Bush, we don't want those evildoers to win. We're not conceding to those that want to thwart us. And if you're wondering our resolution, it is more than ever. And as soon as we get an all clear, expect big moves. So thank you guys for your acknowledgement, and thank you guys for your patience too. So message in Telegram, either direct message or in channel. I'll do my best. The reality is I'm still catching up. I haven't even been able to catch up on Telegram enough to just at least type some messages. And I've got about 300 to 400 more emails to go through to try to get caught up. And they're not all junk mail. They're like legit. And so, yeah, it's some legal stuff, some this, some that. It's bills to pay, the whole 9 yards. So wish me luck. And if I'm scarce and it's because I'm going a little balder. Other than that, thank you guys.